just read that shrieking, and the pretty slow was sweet. It made me sad. But then reading it made me happy.
Oh, beautiful.
So I decided to use this.
Dodging bullets like
Oh,
fucking
beautiful.
Neo.
I've already thanked you for that one. What do you want from me? Oh, thank you very much. Much appreciated, Sabotage. I love your bits. We know you're first as well. You're first. It's the first day of the month. Well, everything's reset when it comes to donations and bits and shiz. Cool. Okay. Yeah. So that was the beautiful music from Star Citizen from Pedro Camacho. Let me put my face up. That's. Bing. We have the technology. And okay, there's something I want to talk about straight away. Not Star Citizen related. Well, very slightly Star Citizen related. Article 13. If you live in the EU, they're going to be voting on some internet potential changes, which are very bad. They are very, very censorship orientated. Right, I'm going to link a website, and I want people to have a look at it. And if they believe in its message, then retweet and poke your MEPs. But basically, the gist of it, bring it up on screen. Is that the right? Yeah. The gist of it is that they are in the European Union. They are looking at the censorship and the way to regulate sources, links, original works, and that sort of stuff, which is relatively damaging to free speech in some ways, as well as creative works and being able to create parodies and be able to discuss and criticize stuff. And some YouTubers entirely make their videos by remixing things or doing those comedy videos, or even for news stuff. It also does weird stuff with sourcing. You might have to pay taxes to the original creator. You might have to pay taxes and other stuff just for linking sources. So that could generate an entire crop of YouTubers which don't source or link anything, which would be abhorrent to me. But I want people to have a look at that. If you believe in it, if you understand it, great. Do something about it by emailing, calling, or tweeting your MEP and making a bit of noise about this. I think it's quite important. It will affect content creators that make videos, but lots of other things as well. It's very bad internet censorship. Now, it might not affect me in the UK much, personally, and the way I do my videos is slightly different. However, I do use sources. I have thought of ways around it already by linking to a blog page and that sort of stuff, and having all my links on there. However, it's not something I like, and I think it's an awful thing. But check it out. Do what you think. I'm not gonna force people that have different views to do things that I want them to do, and but I do think this is genuinely something that people should look at and be aware of at the very least, because I was only made aware of it very recently. Bam. Yeah, that's me, bored activist bored. If you want to ask any questions about Star Citizens, about me, about my channel, about Squadron 42s, about Article 13, I don't know that much about it. I've read the paper about it once, but I need to read it a couple more times to understand it, because I was like, it's really vaguely written to be enforceable however the fuck they want. Yeah, question in brackets and then ask your question. I'll try and engage chat as much as I can. That is what I do in my streams. I try to engage the chat. And we will talk about some Star Citizen news. We'll talk about some Star Citizen updates. This month is going to be sponsored, or at least the featured spotlight thing that I'm doing on my channel is the Daymar Rally.
Tricksy little hobbitses.
So, thank
You
very
are the
much.
queen.
Oh, Kieran, thank you very much for the You the queen. Oh my god. Oh, it's such a dead meme, Giran, but I do love your face. Giran is one of my very good mods that I don't really give much instruction to. Now, I've realised that I need to move my camera, otherwise, no. How to edit? Oh my god, I'm destroying the magic. That. Let us grab this. No, let's grab this. Bam. There you are. Professional. I'm a professional, mate. Deal with it. Let's go. No, let's leave that there. Let's bam. Let's do that. Demo rally. It's going to be in January of next year, but you can sign up for a team now. It is a in-game event, fan-based, and it will be cool. I can't seem to link it because I'm the worst. There you go. But check it out if you're interested. I will be participating or putting some of my guys in as a team and then maybe covering it. But it should be pretty cool. Check it out. It'll be win. Doop. Right, let's have a look through some of the chat. Thank you for all the kind words. Thank you for the love. Yeah, I had some. I had a health worry. I literally thought I was having a heart attack. Is what it was. I couldn't breathe. Like I couldn't catch my breath. Is probably more accurate at all. And my chest hurt, and there was a burning sensation on both my arms there, and I was like I was like, I think I might be having a heart attack. I live very close to a hospital, and I know they would have been able to look after me. But I phoned the doctor, and the doctor said, "Look, you've probably not a heart attack, because the way you're describing it. However, if it happens again, go straight to A&E. But we'll get you into the I'll come to see you tomorrow. Or you come see me tomorrow, and we'll go through some tests and stuff." And they gave me chest X-rays and that sort of stuff, and I'm healthy lungs and heart. I'm having some other blood tests and all that sort of stuff as well. But I think it was just like a rheumatoid spasm or just a pain. I know that's really vague, but it doesn't look like it was painful at all. Scary. It was scary at the time, but it doesn't look like it's long-term scary. Why is the development of this game taking so long? It's not taking that long. So, okay, well, it is taking this long. It's literally taking this long. So, the game changed scope massively in 2013, and I wasn't really interested in the game until late 2013. I and a lot of other people wouldn't be interested in Star Citizen if they hadn't changed its scope. Its original scope from 2011 when it was first pitched, and then after it's kickstarted 2012, kind of because they made so much money, they went, we're going to make a bigger game, and that's why it's got so much money, because people are going, this is great. The development is going to take at least another couple of years before we have a beta, and then maybe another year after that before we have a live game, maybe a little bit longer. That's how long it's going to take. It might take longer. It is what it is. However, the thing with Star Citizen, because it doesn't have a publisher, it's self-published, they can take as long as they want, which is why it's taking so long. They're not forced into doing anything hasty. It does make them take a lot longer to do stuff, definitely. It's a slower process because of that. And with the quarterly release schedule and them releasing patches regularly, thank you very much, Scorpion, for the sub, much appreciated. Because of that quarterly release schedule, because they're releasing patches that are playable, that slows the development down as well. But there's lots of things, lots of factors for it. I am not upset at the length of time it is taking to develop Star Citizen. There are multiple reasons for that as well. I'm still learning my trade as a YouTuber. I get to cover the game a lot as news. I quite enjoy the project. I don't want the game to be shit. And because they're giving us very regular updates on Star Citizen weekly, we can actually see the progress, which is pretty cool. And I like the progress I'm seeing. I get to go to office tours, so I can see they're making major progress on Squadron 42 and Star Citizen, and there's lots of cool stuff happening. Yeah. How does Shadow perform with Star Citizen at max settings? Max settings is quite a vague term, because you could, if we're talking 1080p max settings, so resolution 1920 by 1080, pretty well. It is borderline, because it's only got 12 gigs of RAM on their current models. as long as you're not running anything else on your Shadow PC, Star Citizen will work pretty damn well because you've got a 1080 in there. You've got 8 threads powering your experience. It's pretty good. You can check out my video that I did on it where you actually see all of that footage is from Shadow. And Shadow's been improved further at the moment, and they're upgrading their machines even more. I will keep on with Shadow because I want to promote it. I want to champion this kind of tech. I love the idea of cloud-based PCs. I also love the idea of your own personal hardware PC. I think there is space in the market for both. What are your thoughts on Infinity Battlescape? I've kickstarted it, haven't actually played it, and worryfully I've got some sort of pack for it. Haven't played it yet. I think it's a great idea. I think there's going to be loads of good, smaller, quicker, more arcadey experience games, or at least on a smaller scale than Star Citizen. They are going to be probably more arcadey or probably geared towards a very specific element of combat or gameplay. And I think I will probably play it, see if it's any good. I'm actually very much looking forward to more information on Fallout 76. I love Rust. And if it's a Rust-esque game, fucking great. How do you see future mature content in Star Citizen? I'd like to see some nice lad dancing on a 980, an 890, or something like that. Well, I mean, you can certainly get into your box shorts and dance. Mature content-wise, there's not going to be full nudity. At least I'm not aware of that. That they're going to be wanting the game to be as lower rating as possible age-wise, so they can get more sales, and it will be less banned around the world. So expect it to be PG-13, I think is the term. Mature content, probably low. Roleplay content, though, that could be relatively mature, pretty high. Have large ship flight dynamics changed recently? Well, the flight dynamics in general have changed recently, and they're likely to be more and more changed. So yeah, the FCS and ESP systems have changed. They are working on the AI flying ships and dialing that in. So the flight dynamics and the way that those large ship flies will have changed. No, Giran. Bad Giran. What are your initial thoughts when they demoed the new scanning in more detail? For first iteration scanning, yeah. I think it's fine. The idea that when you're, so the scanning they've got now, that we're going to have in, I believe, 3.2, passive scanning, but also passive radar. That's what we have now. That'll be at slightly longer range at least. We'll also, at longer distances, be able to send out a ping that will go boom. Sending out that ping will make you very obvious, but it will detect objects and interesting things in those areas. It might not know what those are at all. When you ping out, it will just go, there's something here, there's something there. As you get closer to it, your passive radar will pick it up, and you can hover over it to scan it in more detail, get some more information on it. Now, I'm hoping that works in the fact that if you've got something targeted, you slowly get more and more information passively on it. And eventually, I'm hoping that you, well, they said you'll be able to scan something to get a lot more details on it. So you might be able to specifically scan a ship's cargo or the ship's manifest, or see if a particular person's on there, or see what weapons and systems they have, stuff like that. I really like the idea of that scanning. I just want to make sure that it's fun and ergonomic as well. Probably need a lot of tweaks. First iteration of it, so it's better than a golf swing. Yeah, so we will be playing Star Citizen at some points. I'm planning to play over the weekend. It's whether or not I get to stream it at the same time. But yeah, the plan is to be streaming Star Citizen often. I want to do one. Thank you very much. I am very cute. Appreciate it. No, now you've made me blush, and I've gone confused. Yeah, we're playing Star Citizen. Possibly not today. I want to do one day that is sort of like a interactive. Talk about Star Citizen, talk about the channel, get interactive with the chat as much as I can, because I'm really bad at reading chat when I'm concentrating on something else. But we will do, especially with 3.2, lots more gameplay. However, 3.1.4, the current build, is really good, so we will be playing that a lot more. Yeah, so I do suffer from occasional panic attacks. I am bipolar. I do have severe anxiety disorder. Well, it's anxiety disorder. And a very erratic OCD-based anxiety disorder. So it could have been a panic attack. Could have been a rheumatoid spasm. It could have been lots of different things. My day is good, thank you very much. Yeah, I suspect that Chris Roberts is quite hard to work for in some aspects. Like, he is a perfectionist, but I think his brother and some of the other the higher ups will rein him back if he's being unreasonable. He has the vision. He will, however, get that game out at some point. There's always a possibility that the game might not come out for some reason. There could be a world war. There could be an explosion. Something terrible could happen. It's very unlikely though. It's very unlikely. So I'm pretty happy with the direction of the game at the moment. I'm pretty happy with the progress now. Previously, there's been droughts and stuff. But yeah, it's going well now. Will mining and land claims be released on schedule end of June? That is the plan. Land claims, no. So land claims are 3.4. Land claims are December. But mining, yeah. And pretty much everything else in the roadmap for 3.2 now should be at the end of June. There could be a crippling bug which prevents that from happening, or a particular part of 3.2 they've currently got planned from happening. Like, the mining could be it's bugged, it's broken. In which case they would release 3.2 without it, and then they get 3.2.x patch pretty quick, getting it working. You reckon we might get more ground war machines like Titans from 40k? So we're going to have the Titan suits at some point. They are going to be little mechs or big suits of armor, something like that. We don't 100% know. We've seen some very early sort of concept work with them, with like power loadery type arms and things like that. We could get bigger and bigger mechs. They've got some MechWarrior Online people on staff, so maybe they will put mechs in them. So Night Titans would be pretty cool in Star Citizen. Not giant Titans; they are too big. But Night Titans could be a thing. No. You can run the game at max settings, 1080p on like a 1070. 3.2 comes out at the end of June. It will go to Evocati within the next couple of weeks, I suspect, and then roll out to wider and wider PTU beyond that. As soon as it goes to Evocati, we should be able to say that it's gone to Evocati, and that I will give as much information as I can that I'm allowed to. I'm an Evocati tester, so I am under NDA. I'm not allowed to release I'm not allowed to talk about the contents of the patch. Or produce any videos or screenshots with the content in the patch. I'm not allowed to record anything, basically. But I'll talk about what I can and what CIG officially say and anything that is public knowledge. So, E3 is in a couple of weeks now. CIG and Star Citizen is not attending E3. However, they're going to be in the PC Gamer E3 show. So that's probably either going to be them doing a little interview, or there's going to be a called trailer, either for 3.2 or Squadron 42 or something, or an announcement, something like that. So expect in the PC Gamer E3 show, Star Citizen will make an appearance there. So they're not going to be at E3, but they're having some form of impact there. Very much better way of doing it. I suspect that was either cheap or free as well. What are my thoughts on Fallout 76? Love Rust. Love the idea of Fallout 76. If it is going to be a Rust-type game, need to see more information on it before I can make any judgments. I'm also very much looking forward to maybe they're going to announce Starfield and things like that at E3. There's lots and lots of stuff at E3 this year that could influence the direction of my channel. I'm always going to have Star Citizen as the plan is for the next 5 to 10 years to have the channel mainly directed towards Star Citizen. And it will probably, even after like 10 years, it will probably have some form of Star Citizen content on it, even if I'm done with Star Citizen. That's unlikely, but I'm happy to drown myself in this game. However, there might be some other stuff I want to do on the channel as well. Like Anthem looks really cool. Fallout 76 is really good. I might put a bit of that on the channel, or I might go on the second channel. I'm definitely going to be playing other games. Even when Star Citizen and Squadron 42 is out, I'll be playing other games. I love playing games. All games. Like, I'm a gaming connoisseur, or at least fatty. So Evocati are the earliest stage testers after official Q&A testers. So they are the first people that get patches to test, and I'm an Evocati. Yeah, that's coming out in the next couple of weeks. Oh, so that is a good thing to say. I didn't really mention even when the Lagartos package came out. So there's a $27,000 package, which I saw come out on the website, and I didn't really talk about it because I didn't think it was that newsworthy. It was like, but loads of mainstream media picked up on it, and I did actually say to someone at CIG, is like, your marketing department's either genius or mad, because that's going to get so much media attention, and you're going to have loads of people saying it's the death of the game, and or it's like, what the hell, or lots of people just going, oh my god, $27,000 on a computer game, what the fuck, which is basically what's happened. So I called it, which makes me feel good. But that $27,000 package is literally a remake of a different package. There was an older package which had loads of ships, which is horrendously expensive, and now they've updated it with all of the ships, or lots of the ships, to make that package up to date. So it's just a remake of that, and it's to help consolidate older backers that have already spent that amount of money. They can actually get some more store credit by consolidating into that package, if they spent around that money or more. Also, it's great for CIG because some people have huge amounts of money that they want to dump into the game because reasons, and they can do that. So some people are incredibly wealthy, and it boggles my mind. However, it is very much a shock value thing of a lot of people going, $27,000 for a video game? What a swizz or a scam or whatever. Those are people that didn't know much about the Star Citizen project anyway, and all it's doing is actually giving Star Citizen a huge amount more free exposure. Huge amounts. And people that read into Star Citizen more, a percentage of that will back the game and play the game. Some people will be like, nah, not for me, or oh my god, pay to win, or whatever. So all it's doing is increasing, and you can see that by the funding chart, all it's doing is increasing exposure for Star Citizen. It's just a very odd thing that some people are like, oh, death of the game, or there was a very small vocal minority that seemed to be very angry about it. But I couldn't see any genuine reasons that really for why it was such a horrible move. Like, it's available to people that want to spend it. They're not using predatory tactics to force people to buy it. It's not like loot boxes. It's not sort of like, if you don't buy this, then you don't get this. It's everything's going to be available in game. It's not pay to have to win. It's like EVE more than anything else. But that's just my opinion. I encourage other people's opinions and to look into it yourself and that sort of stuff. I just thought it was very, very odd. But I didn't think it was very newsworthy. But obviously other news journalist sites did. However, it was for the shock value of $27,000 in a computer game. I'd never fucking spend that. I fucking wouldn't. I spent like $2,500 on Star Citizen for myself, and that's because I justify that because I'm going to be making content with those ships. It's a very select set of ships. I will try and get as many ships as I can. I will play that game a hell of a lot, but I think it was a bit weird. But, I'm finding the Star Citizen community to over-dramatize a lot of news recently, resulting in divide and salty rhetoric. Do you think this is just trolling or might be uneducated people? I think it's people with different opinions. I think it's people wanting to voice their opinion. And I think it's a lot of Reddit in general. And anyone can just jump on with any account and say whatever the fuck they want. So you get people that are trolling. You get people that just have a totally different view on something than you do. But I genuinely think largely, especially with that, it was just something to be angry about by some small group of people. But I don't have the ability to statistically check some facts like that. So if it is a larger group and is a genuine thing in the community, I will look into it at some point. However, I'm pretty sure that it's you have to buy it if you don't want to. And I know that's a bit of a cop out, but it's true. It's if I see genuine dirty things, like I did not like the referral competition when they did that. Didn't even like the way they set it up properly. Like, it was for the top two prizes. It was whoever now currently has the most referrals, and then going forward. If it had been, well, that's new referrals only, I would have won hands down. That's why I'm salty about it. Oh shit. They've done bad things. They've sold plots of land. Well, they haven't sold plots of land. They've sold UEE protection on UEE space land. It's not even buying plots of land. And it's going to be interesting Crusader, although Crusader Stanton does have UEE law in it, which may work for the protection. It doesn't have UEE patrols, which it's going to be interesting. It's all private patrols. So, suppose they can just, it doesn't matter, in the short term, they can just say, yeah, it's patrolled by the local militias and stuff, and the security guards. But the other stuff I haven't liked, yeah, the selling of that. I'm not a massive fan of LTI, to be honest, but I don't really care about it that much. Right. Oh, 1 second. 1 second. I saw the word Care Bears are scrolling up. I'll be reading that in a minute, don't you worry. No, I didn't have a bag. So after seeing the $27,000 worth of ships, I think I'd like to heartily thank anyone that's bought those packages, like Clifford and people, but because they are helping make a better game. It's stupid overpriced them, and why spend anything more than like $100 on a game? It's beyond me. It says the man that spent $2,500. You have an intercom system where you can communicate with other people to advise them to lay down the weapons or give it up before the ship's fired upon. You will be able to communicate with them via the mobiGlass, and it will be voice over IP and face over IP. So I can go, it's the hope. I'll tell them to fuck off really slowly. Why are you so lovable? Hashtag man crush. Cheers for all you do, Bored. Loving the content. So Panda, I'm going to put that on my website as an endorsement. Thank you. Are there more wrecks to be discovered, such as persistent javelin wreck on Daymar? No, not at the moment. You can find outposts and Corvistas, though. There will be a lot more in 3.2, I believe. They'll be adding more. They'll be adding lots more Easter eggs and areas and mission content. Remember, there's FPS AI now as well, planned for 3.2. All about FPS and server player limits. So, object container streaming is coming in 3.3, which is September. That should leverage network bind culling that's coming in 3.2 at the end of June, so that they can have more players in the server. And then they've got server meshing, which is the last of the big tech, coming in 3.4 for December, which will allow for lots and lots more players in servers. Hundreds, potentially thousands, although I think that we'll need a good year of tweaking before that, if that's at all a thing. But the idea of the server meshing and all the other tech is, and server and object container streaming, is that based on the population in a certain area, they can spin up more servers to look after those areas and then seamlessly transition between them. If 3.1 were to get another patch before 3.2, what do you think it would be? It won't get a patch. It won't get a patch before 3.2, unless they need to test out network bind culling. In which case, they would get a network bind culling test patch. I don't really know how far away it is from beta. So the budget's 185 million-ish at the moment, probably 186 or 7 now. You've got to remember the studio massively geared up after 2013 when they changed the scope of the game, and they had to build a studio from like 7 people to nearly 500 now. But you've got to be aware that it's going to take time to do that. And if you're not interested in waiting, if you think, why the fuck would I want to wait, then don't back the game. But be aware that it's going to be that long, and you're going to get a lot of people that are going to come and just say every month, is this game out yet? The same person. It's like, go play Call of Duty. Go and get your instant gratification from constantly rehashed games. Because so many games are shit now, and I am hoping the Star Citizen is not shit. Otherwise, I will have to eat my words. I've been playing Eve again, actually, recently. I just saw someone write Eve. Do you think the Star Citizen will have freedom to allow big plays / wars that have been made in Eve Online? Will it be more Care Bear? It will be a mixture of both types of gameplay. There will be areas which are very, as you said, Care Bear, very PvE orientated. There will be heavily under UE protection, like 1.0 security space in EVs, but probably even more that to protect players. You'll still be able to do assassinations. You'll still be able to do really clever things in them to attack people. And there might be, if you're at war with an orc, you might be able to fight wherever the fuck you want, like an Eve. But we don't 100% know how it's going to play out. But I expect quite to like Eve in a lot of ways. And there are going to be shitters, and there are going to be ways that are really, really, really annoying alpha striking people. We're sure of it. But I'm hoping that, and it needs to be thought out, org sizes and org play needs to be really thought about. I'm not sure if I'm happy with orgs being infinitely sized. But no, I'm all good with people having their own opinions and all that sort of stuff. That's all good. Even people that would be described as vocal trolls. It's all good. Exchange of opinions and ideas, which is genuine, is good. Even if it's a very varying opinion that's potentially from a troll, more information better to me. You can make your own decision. You don't have to believe what they're saying. You just always act like the most reasonable person in the room if you can. Can you imagine a large-scale event where players have to raid Vandal Blockade guarding a planet? Yes, 100%. There's going to be big in the PU. There's going to be big story events. There's going to be big fleets. There's going to be big battles happening, and they're going to be like semi-procedurally generated. They're going to be based on stories and missions. They're going to be based on what's happening in the larger verse. There's going to be lots and lots of gameplay like that. I suspect there will be games masters going around doing some cool stuff as well. Has Chris Roberts offered to provide an exact model of your character that only you have access to? I'm hoping to get scanned in the game at some point. If I have time, I'm planning to do a Derby studio tour this year. However, I don't think I can get my face scanned at the same time because they're busy. They're busy working on the game. I'd love to be in the game as a full model rather than just bits of me. Expect a beta for Star Citizen probably in 2.5 years, probably 2 years from now. That's what I'm expecting. Will there be other ways to do mining in 3.2 apart from the Prospector, since not everyone has it? Do you think they'll make a special Prospector sale when 3.2 comes out? You can steal one, probably. I'm hoping, it's unlikely now, but I'm hoping that ships are purchasable without UBC in 3.2, although they basically refuse to answer that question, which is annoying. The Prospector is the only ship that can mine. I'm not sure if it's the only ship that can detect minables with ping. I suspect other ships can detect whether something is mineable with a ping. But it's the only ship that can in 3.2. Yeah, they'll probably do a ship sale. Makes sense for them to do that. But there'll be lots of people stealing them and things like that. We mentioned getting modularity in-game on ships like the Retaliator and the Caterpillar, but I don't see it anywhere on the timeline. Any information would be appreciated. Well, they've talked about this, actually, and calling all devs. So, it's in the backlog at the moment, ship modularity as a mechanic, and it will be added into the game at some point. I'm expecting next year will be the year of the modularity. So this is like literally taking the center out of a ship and changing its role by putting something else in. It's the, for example, the Avenger variants. I believe they are actually you remove the center and their modules, although that might have changed now. So some ships are going to be hull variants, in which case you can't change the modules inside. However, the Caterpillar, it's got loads of modules, and you're going to be able to put ones in for like habitation, ones for like having lots and lots of dragonflies potentially, stuff like that. Do you think the meta of mining will be in, or do you think it will be basic mechanics? Basic mechanics. It will lead on to them keep on refining it, but it will be a good starting point. Like Titans. What if the money dries up? I mean, that's an interesting question. I mean, it doesn't look like it is drying up. I suppose if the money started to dry up genuinely, they would probably talk to the community. They'd try and do some sales. They'd probably potentially look for other investors. They would probably downscale the studios. And I'm not talking about like getting rid of one person. They've got 500 people. They'd downscale to like 300 people or something like that. And that will probably actually happen at some point, even if money's not drying up. Once everyone's completed the projects for Star Citizen, and they've got Squadron 42 Episode 3 out in like 3 or 4 years' time or whatever, possibly longer, like up to 6 years' time, I suppose. Might be a year or two between Episode 1, Episode 2, and Episode 3. And remember, they are basically all standalone AAA games with significant amounts of gameplay in. And when I say significant, I mean over 40 hours. Hopefully leaning towards more 70. They might downscale after that, or they might work on some other games. Yeah, so they will dial in and tweak when ships are purchasable with Alpha UEC. That's going to be entirely reliant on the community about exactly how long progress is going to take. It's going to be us giving feedback. Does the Reliance series have a planned rework? No. With the Avenger update, it seems the core will be useless. Well, they could. So all ships might get like light materials updates and new tech updates and stuff, but no like huge remodeling and stuff like the Avenger had. So it can get systems updates. It can get different components in. It can have different hard points changed on it really easily. So it will get tweaked and balanced. Got to remember that people that say the game's never going to come out or whatever, they can have that opinion. That's fine, and it's really hard to disprove them because it hasn't come out yet. So there's no point in going, well, no, you're wrong. Well, they might be right. It's just very unlikely. You go, well, okay, cool. I don't think that that's a. I don't think that's an issue. I think it will almost certainly come out. But yeah, don't buy the game. And to be honest, with a lot of games like Evolve and stuff, I would recommend people buying the game after it's out. Pre-orders and stuff can be quite bad for games and the gaming industry. However, Star Citizen is very unique. The game would not have been made had it not been for its style of development. And I'd actually like the style of development, which is AAA style game that is so influenced by its community that it's insane. And they're not just pumping it out to give instant gratification for people and then constantly literally bleeding the IP dry. So very juxtaposed about that thing because Evolve burnt me fucking hard and I spent the £100 package, £100 package, the Super Monster pack for it. Now it's free. I don't think it's even supported on servers anymore. And Battleborn and some other games like that. Oh. I think the idea is that if you buy those ships, I think there's going to be like a statutory insurance on them for purchase ships. It might be all ships in game, even if they're out for UEC. But they'll still take time to get back. And yeah, you could lose your £2,000 ship, and it could take like 2 months to get back or something, or it could cost you a lot of in-game money to get it back. But I'd say with that sort of stuff, why buy it? Just get it in game. Get it in game with the group, or be part of someone else's ship. There's loads of people with big ships now. Shouldn't CIG consider selling ships in smaller, more affordable packages? They could sell more and expose good ships to more customers. Yeah, I think they need to sell it to all in all environments and all package. They probably want to focus more on people buying starter ships and then little upgrades to those starter ships, but that's it mainly. And then obviously cater to everyone else as well. But the focus should be on those smaller packages and starter packages. Insurance costs might skyrocket. We don't know. Actually, insurance costs, well, maybe they will change based on inflation and stuff. Got to remember as well that the economy in Star Citizen isn't like Eve's economy. It is player influenced, but CIG can edit it. CIG can fake a lot of it if they want to. It will be dynamic with missions and that sort of stuff, and how access to resources for planets, and there's like factory nodes planned for the economy. Some quite basic economy stuff but it's heavily influenced by, do ships actually get here with those resources, yes or no? Are there pirates stopping them? Are there players stopping them? And that sort of stuff. And it will generate missions based on that economy, which is where most of that gameplay is going to be coming from. Well, that Lagartos $27,000 package is more of a it was requested by a load of people, but I say load, the 1%. But it was just an update to their like super collector's edition package, isn't it? And in like 2 years' time, there'll probably be another update to it. That's a good point. I'm not sure if those. So those gold suits, the super expensive ones, were the ones you get with Thingamajig, with Concierge or whatever, at the different levels. Now, maybe they're not available in game. You might be able to sell them, in which case they'd be available in game. You can sell them to other players. And I will be selling all of my gold stuff pretty quick. If it's worth a load of UEC. Do you think we'll see more military capital ships and other alien... Yes. We'll see Xi'an capital ships. We might not see Tavaran, but we'll probably see other Tavaran. We'll probably see other Tavaran ships other than the Prowler. Banu... I'm not sure about Banu capital ships, because they're more sort of like all their ships are capable of combat. Like the Banu Merchantman's pretty big. They're supposed to be capable of combat, and they just bring everything to bear if they're in a military situation. Someone steals your ship, they steal your ship. You can claim it back on your insurance. They might get a criminal rating based on where they stole it, based on where you reported it. They won't be able to like use it in normal, secure UEE space, but they'll be able to fly it somewhere else. They might be able to
tricksy little
hobbitses. They might be able to use it for themselves in outlaw space or whatever, and hide it or whatever. They're potentially they might be able to like refit the ship so it is resellable and with a lot of effort and work. There will be dangers, risk and reward for that, and they haven't finished fleshing out all of the mechanics for that. They just briefly talked about it. Thank you very much, Rumburger, the sub. Thank you. About scanning and mining, I don't know if there's any info, but will we have tools that we carry, like guns, to scan and mine on foot without using a ship? I believe that you will be able to hand mine stuff. I think there's the welding multi-tool might be used for that or something. I'm pretty sure I heard that. And there were crystals on the ground and around the Oasis in the 2016 CitizenCon demo. So I think you can do stuff like that. You can almost certainly prospect by hand, or with some gear. Oh, 1 second. I've lost my place. Bear with me. Okay. When will we slow down? When we slow down strafing up and down from take on landing so we can land smoothly? I believe they are working on the landing experience, even for NPCs as well. They'll keep on working on it, and they keep on working on the IFCS and thrusters and all of that jazz anyway. But as they're working more on VTOL and atmospheric landing, they'll probably work on landing in general as well. Where do I buy land clothes? I don't think you can buy them anymore. Wait until there's the mechanic for it in 3.4. I think there's a bug in the PU at the moment where it unequips your weapon, or it drops your weapon. However, in the future, you are going to be able to lose your weapons, but insure them and things like that. So yeah, they've changed a lot of the IFCS atmospheric flight and ESP stuff in 3.1.4. So it's a bit different. You know if it's planned to make player ships wrecks over a certain size get pulled into the gravity of nearby planets. Yeah, if you're in the atmosphere of a planet and your ship is wrecked or destroyed, it will crash into the planet. I mean, if it's above the atmosphere, then it probably won't. It'll probably stay either in orbit or there, or just in stationary. Yeah, I'd go down the other route. I wished, really, they either gave us very raw access to Star Citizen, so they didn't really have anything that was totally playable, but we could just spawn in and it just spawn in whatever they've got asset-wise and fuck around in their sandbox. Basically give us dev branch, but don't polish it for us. Because that would get the game done a lot quicker. I don't like the fact they're producing regular, quarterly, or semi-polished. Their packaging stuff is like finished product with each patch. Like it's a new release anyway, not a finished product, but like a new release. And it's super alpha. Like they shouldn't be doing that. That's just my opinion though. I know it's cool for a lot of people, but it's I think it slows down development. I think it does anyway. No, so CIG haven't mentioned anything recently about Alpha buying ships without VVC in 3.2. However, I have to poke them. Yeah, Gray. So it's $27,000 to watch my stream. So I can buy a Lagartos package each stream, and then I get all the girls. I haven't spent. I have spent less on Star Citizen than I would have paid in EVE subscriptions since 2014. $800 on Star Citizen, and I would have spent $809 on EVE. Okay, I'm playing EVE a lot at the moment. I think EVE's pretty cool. There's some cool stuff you can do in it, and I'm trying to learn how to be a bit more of a shitter in EVE. I want to understand PvP and large orc fights and stuff. I haven't played it for so long. The fact you think that people get $50,000 as salary in the North in the UK is madness. I suspect they will be on $24,000 in the UK. And up north, possibly even less. House prices are, yeah. The salaries at CIG, as far as I'm aware, are not very good. Even for project leads. Not outing anyone that I've talked to. But at the very least, you know that your money is being more efficiently spent. When do you think we'll see Titan Suits? So Titan Suits for me are probably going to be a massive seller. So probably at could see it at E3, but more likely like around Gamescom time or CitizenCon time. Oh my god, a new... Yeah. If you want to give me free stuff for EVE, I will love you forever. That would be fucking amazing. Anyone that has stuff they don't want in EVE, that wants to send me billions of ISK, I will love you genuinely forever. No, I think Gray is focused on his stream more at the moment, and I hope that you start doing YouTube as well again at some point. Gray, I love your stuff, and I'm hoping that you like your cool stuff from JR Fabrication as well. I'm hoping to look at some of their products pretty soon. So JR Fabrication make official Star Citizen props, but they're fully orderable by the normal humans like us. So we can have like desks and tables and cool flair and stuff, but also computer cases made from like the cargo containers and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. Yeah, I think there will probably be a hand miner of some sorts. I think that welding tool might be like a hand miner. I haven't played in a while. Did they remove the dead zone for flying? Oh, we talked about that. Said that the flight model was changed significantly for atmospheric flight and for quantum travel and that sort of stuff for space travel. So it does feel a bit different and weird, especially with larger ships. Mr. Prospector, do you have MPRE value than more value? More value than Miss Grazer because I think melt my razor for the Prospector. Oh, different types of gameplay. Entirely different types of gameplay. If you want to race and you want to go faster in the verse, and you want to do like the scrambles and stuff, the race is going to be for you. If you want to do mining, Prospect is going to be for you. Have you seen Mavericks Proving Grounds? They're using special OS, sort of like server meshing. Do you think server meshing is the future of games? I think it's a technique that some games will use. I will check out Mavericks Proving Grounds. Bear with me 1 second because I want to... stuff that I have to do afterwards. I will get a... Oh, winner of the Tonkin Turtle is... on my screen somewhere. They were on my screen somewhere. I just think they emailed me, didn't they? They fucking emailed me. Gene Winter. Gene Winter one. I'll put it in the updated video on. I'll do a channel and channel update and all that sort of jazz on Sunday probably, because tomorrow I'll do the news. I don't think them selling ships in game without VUEC is going to damage sales. I actually think it's going to make them more money. However, they might think it's going to cause damage in sales, but we'll have to wait and see. Like that's was like I reckon. Got to remember that the development process for Star Citizen is expanding their like employees, and they're working on the game, and they are actually making progress now. They were making progress before, but it was just slow, and it was a bit sort of haphazard as they were getting that studio together, increasing its size. So it's not sort of like unjust enrichment and that sort of stuff. It's not like being pissed away or anything. It's being used to develop the game. It's in their interest to get a product out. I haven't seen Solo yet. I will check Solo out. I'm not a massive Star Wars fan, but I can appreciate the originals as amazing masterpieces, especially at the time. And I know they've tried to do that some pretty cool stuff recently. So the revenue stream, if the revenue stream dried up today and they didn't get any more money, they had zero money, then it possibly wouldn't come out. However, that's not going to happen. If it started to dry up slowly, then yeah, they'd scale back. They've got good cash reserves. I do think they need, realistically speaking, 250 million in total, so another 70 million, so another couple of years to finish off the game in the way that they want. That's my realistic expectation, although partly pulled out of my ass. That's again a bit of I reckon. If the game didn't ever get completed, what minimum point of development would you be satisfied with what's on the game? I want pretty much all the features that they've discussed in the game. I wouldn't be satisfied with anything else. I'm not going to be satisfied with them putting a half-assed product out there. They've taken a long time. They've taken a load of money. They are potentially redefining the way some AAA games are made. If this is a total success, they have to deliver. Otherwise, I'll be entirely burnt and never trust them again for anything. And that's true of Squadron 42 and Star Citizen. Squadron 42 Episode 1 has to be great. It has to be a really fucking good game. So they have to deliver that within the next couple of years, whatever, but it has to be great. They can take longer than that if they want, but it has to be greater because of that. Like, any news on a new Drake ships? We'll see the Vulture go on concept sale at some point, which is the small salvage ship. I'm suspecting to see a scout carrier ship at some point. It might be Drake, it might be the Kraken, but it might just be rebranded for another manufacturer. There was the Corsair that they wanted to do at some point as well, which would be a Drake version of the Constellation. There was a medium storage runner, for like a larger version of a Herald. That could be Drake. Yeah, so I very much encourage people to only really buy a starter pack with Star Citizen, and potentially, if you're not convinced at all, you don't like the idea of participating in the project at this stage, wait until it's out. Fucking hell, wait until it's out. That seems much more sensible. I'm showing the Squadron 42 thingamajig in the background. Vertical slice from 2017. So 3.2, I'm actually most looking forward to getting Zin and the rest of the board gamers to play Star Citizen, because I think 3.2 will be in a stage where we can actually have a good few hours of streams and fun together before they're like, okay, well, we're not going to play until there's more progression and persistence, which is fine because they want to play stuff like Eve, where there is lots of progression and persistence and stuff. So that's probably what I'm most looking forward to. Personally, mechanic-wise, expanded missions with FPS AI on the ground, mining to a small extent, hooks to gameplay. There's lots of stuff. We can't buy ships in game yet. I'm hoping with 3.2, though it looks unlikely now. We will be able to buy ships without VUC in game at some point. When's the next buyback token? It's this month, isn't it? Later this month, I think. I'll find out. I will maintain a page on my website which will have when the next buyback tokens are, what the sub flare and sub bonuses are for a particular month, that sort of stuff as well. If they implement loot boxes, people will go fucking very angry. It's gonna use probably a word I shouldn't have done. But yeah, that wouldn't be acceptable. Loot boxes wouldn't be acceptable. However, if they have loot boxes in Star Marine, I would not give no shits. They can loot box away as long as you don't buy them with real. No, as long as they don't buy them with real money. That's like semi-predatory gaming practice, the way they do loot boxes and like Overwatch and stuff. But if you buy them with in-game currency, fuck it, why not? But that'd be Star Marine thing. Are mountains biomes planned for 3.3 or 3.4? I believe it's very likely that they are in 3.3. For Hurston or its moons. I've heard you encouraged to come to Austin. Have you decided to top the pond after all? I'm feeling a lot better at the moment about traveling. I'm not like terrified of going out of the house and stuff. So I will look at it again. I don't know if I'll be able to get a visa to the US, because they're funny about people working over there. Because effectively it would be for work. I'd go there because I'm covering it as a YouTube thing. And I've got mental health issues and stuff like that. So it is quite difficult for me to get visas, although it's not impossible. So yeah, so there's lots of stuff they haven't shown us yet that you see in office tours. If you ever get the chance to go to an office tour in the UK, fucking do it. I'm assuming LA and Austin also have great ones, and Frankfurt's the other studio I really want to go to other than the UK studio. But if you get to go, great. You get to see a lot, and you go, oh wow. There's loads of stuff they haven't shown us yet, or stuff that they're working on beyond 3.2, 3.3, and beyond this year. Do you know if they have an eventual plan for decaying orbits for unpowered ships and satellites and debris in the upper atmosphere? I think that I doubt they have decaying orbits. I think if you're in the atmosphere of a planet, you will go down when you don't have enough thrust anymore. So if your ship's disabled or destroyed or whatever, it will crash. If you're above that, then you won't. Why does Son Goku message me separately? I'll tell you. Why do some of the ships have wheels? Because to drive them, yo. It's a design decision based on the manufacturer, typically. I don't think it will ever come to console. But maybe in the future. Give it years after its release, maybe. I don't know. When I leave Eve, can I have your stuff? I've got an original character from day one. I occasionally play Eve. I may even occasionally play Eve in 10 years. But if anyone wants to give me their stuff for Eve... And Morgan, if you want to do some stuff in Eve, we can talk as well. Like, I'm happy to play with some people. I want to invest a few bucks in that game. When or how do you think would be the best way? I want about 4 ships for the lifetime insurance. I'm willing to spend $2,000. Oh no, I don't like this conversation. Invest is probably not something you should do in Star Citizen. It's like, if you want to back the game because you like the project, great. But I wouldn't do it to invest anything, and I wouldn't do it for an in-game advantage either. My suggestion to you would buy an Avenger Titan at most. If you want better advice than that about investing or anything like that, go to the grey market and have a look there. I'm not versed on such things. When will welding tool get in game? I think it's 3.3, so September, I think, for hand repair and maintenance. I think that's when it's coming, probably. What do I think of the EX? So the EX and the LX, I think they're cool ideas. The Stealth Razor, which is used for like observation and darting around, probably a really good escape pod for like a VIP on a like 890 jump or something like that. Do you know what I mean? Just go like, oh, we might get fucked. Get out of here. or to observe something, or whatever. And you've got the drag racing version as well, which is going to be faster in a straight line than the normal racer. However, the normal racer is best at racing, probably because it's got a bit of agility as well compared to the overclocked one. I don't know how much Chris Roberts wastes on flight back and forth to all the studios. I would do as much as I could over Skype, but I suppose people being there gives them a better idea of stuff. Maybe that's the correct way of doing things. I'm not in a position to criticise for that. All I can do when it comes to Star Citizen is personally make sure that I don't spend any backer money if they invite me to Gamescom or something, all expenses paid. I can go, no, I'll get my own ticket or whatever. I can try. I mean, that's a hard thing, isn't it, as well, to try and remain good to. Like, it's if someone offers you that, you like, well, and you want to go, you might go, but I'll always try to remain not shilly, not take anything from CIG where possible, and I'll try not to go to those events if they're all expenses paid. Well, I'll go by my own means, or I'll just fucking raise the money on my channel or whatever. Do you know what I mean? I could raise it as a donation, but it's not. That's an odd thing that juxtaposes my brain with like, well, it'd be cool to go, but got to spend that money because then people will use it against me as well. So, thanks, Kieran. Love your face. I don't know what Chris Roberts drives, but I'll probably find out at some point. Any plans on players' ability to repair by hand their vehicle? I think that's coming in 3.3. Pretty sure. September. You don't understand why the EX and LX are like hotcakes? No, so they're just little variants. They're just little tiny variants. I did a quick little a video at the beginning of a video. I talked about them very briefly. Like, one's a stealthy one, one's a faster one in a straight line. Boom. Because that's what it is, really. Do you think they'll have alien profession ships? Yeah, there are alien profession ships. There's the bounty merchantman and stuff like that. So far, all profession crafts have been human, and planned alien ships are all carriers, fighters. No, the bounty merchantman's a ship. But I see what you mean. There will be almost certainly Xi'an mining ships. We might not even be able to use them at release and stuff like that, because they might be built for Xi'an, and we don't have the correct proportions to use them. Any prediction on Squadron 42 release? My guess is summer 2019. Mr. Bubbles, I don't really know anymore. I was hoping still maybe the end of this year. That looks very unlikely, seeing it's not on the roadmap. I think that roadmap, I'm suspecting that Squadron 42 will get added to once it's around 12 months away. You think they started with 100 million from the Kickstarter campaign, Savvy? I think it's about 6 million. Have a look. It's about 6 million. I think it's about 4 million from Kickstarter and 2 million from their website as well. Well, Squadron 42 is not the same as No Man's Sky. Like, well, No Man's Sky was a single-player game in the end. And No Man's Sky, actually, I'm looking forward to with the multiplayer update. It looks like it might be pretty good. They've continued to work on that game. It was No Man Lied to start with. It was entirely lied about, having multiplayer early on, and it was missold. However, they've worked on it and continued to work on it, so good for them. However, they shouldn't have fucked around in the first place. Squadron 42 might be shit. I hope it's good. All I can say at the moment. From what I've seen of it and the regular updates they give us of it, it looks great. Do you think that CIG is waiting for the spaceship dealerships? Spaceship dealerships like the one found in Area 18. Oh. No, they've got a load of that planned out and stuff. They can have it through consoles. They can do it from the shopping kiosks. And that was what they said was the last real hurdle. I'm sure that's for a couple of others before we could have ships in game being bought without VVC. So I'm hoping for 3.2. It's just unlikely now. They refused to answer that question, which is something that really annoyed me recently. Do you think Star Citizen would have gotten the funding it has if it had been honest about the timeframes needed to build this from the beginning? Yeah. I think so. When it's still earning a lot of money now. So, yeah. I think it was just mistaken about its timeframes. I don't think they've gone lie about this. They haven't done that. They've just been ridiculously over optimistic with certain things, and there have been issues with some of the stuff in the project. Especially with like Batterball and stuff like that, and the original Star Marine was made to the wrong scale and things like that, I believe anyway. I think there will be dealerships in game to buy and sell ships as well. But I don't think they're waiting for that to be able to have ships in game that are purchasable with Alpha UBC. Do you think ships AI would be a good way of teaching us lore? Yeah, it's the sort of thing that HCS voice packs might do as well. They might program all the lore into one of their voice packs. I think that'd be pretty cool. But yeah, I think maybe they will have a voice reading tool for the Moby-Glass and allow you access to the it's not Civipedia, Star Citizen Universipedia, the Versapedia, whatever the fuck it's called. Where do you see yourself in game after you've been playing for a year upon release? Let's assume it has everything you want in game. I'll be doing all the content I can for it. So I'll do some stuff in game. I'll probably have a weekly podcast done in game. I'll look at guides about how to do everything each week. I'll do gameplay every week, but it'll be guides and news, a lot of that. But a lot more stuff will be done in game. With faceover IP and voiceover IP, I can do that. Full Go Geek, thank you very much. Full Goro Geek. Do you think we'll be able to see some AI ground combat integrated this year? Yeah, I think we'll get it in 3.2. Will there be some huge alien cities in the game in the future? Yeah, they've planned Banu alien cities. I'm assuming we'll see Xi'an alien cities. We'll probably see ruined and semi-built Tavaran cities. Yeah. I'm not sure about the Vandal. I'm not too sure about their race. Maybe they are entirely nomadic at the moment. Thank you very much for the donation, by the way. Very much appreciated. If people do want to further support the channel, they certainly do not need to. However, I use it to buy stuff like, at the moment, I'm going to be buying an Optane P905 drive to see how good they are and talk about them. They might be shit, they might be great. I suspect they are massively overpriced, but I still want to buy them. But you can go on Patreon, links below. You can donate directly, you can super chat, you can subscribe, all that sort of jazz. And thank you very much appreciated. Have you heard, if when they plan to fix atmospheric issues with the Retaliator, Vanguard, and Terrapin? Dialed in for 3.2, they are looking at it more. I'm not sure what that means, but I suspect they will get a lot better there. You have to go in to flight once you're getting closer to the ground in the Retaliator, Vanguard, and Terrapin, and large craft as well. You have to go into flight safe mode, landing mode. Otherwise, your ship will not land, will spin, or will hit the ground, or will roll. Any news on cockpit view fix for the Cutlass, Razor, and Terrapin? Nope. Don't know much about that. I suspect they will tweak that for 3.2. Do you think they will tease a playable Squadron 42 for Xmas? Even though they need it, even though they know it needs another year. I hope they will be more realistic in their estimations of time frames. We'll have to wait and see and then judge it and talk about it. I'll be a bit more, a little more cynical at least. Will there be conflicts coming on the PU with NPC Vandals? Yeah, and other things as well. There will be story events, there will be big events, there will be the chances to do missions against large Vandal hordes and fleets and things. I mean, in the same way that No Man's Sky was released, you could say that Star Citizen's Persistent Universe, even if it's an alpha, was released in the same way. It's crap at the moment compared to a full product or what they're doing to the future. We'll probably see Satterball again at some point in the future. I want them to get the fucking game out first, though. I want the game to come out as soon as possible, but as soon as possible to me, I suppose, doesn't mean as soon as possible. As soon as is reasonable for them to get the quality. Like, I don't mind them taking ages as long as the quality of the game is perfect, as long as I get a better experience for it. Network bind culling, do you feel confident that it will be in 3.2? Yep. I think they've talked about it recently, and they got it working in the dev branch a little while ago. I don't think Star Citizen needs to have a release date by any time. However, realistically, within 4 years. Beyond 4 years, people will be getting pissed. Like, I will be getting pissed. Like, yeah, it's great that they're doing quality reschedule, but we want a proper release game. Come on. That would be unacceptable beyond 4 years. Blaster games, I mean, that's not an opinion. That's an accusation, which is what I was talking about more recently. You can have a viewpoint, and you can talk to people, and you can talk about the game and stuff. But you saying, why do you stream a game that is a scam, is an accusation. And that is literally there to be inflammatory and for you to be a dick. So please don't do that. When are you getting more mods to smite these trolls? I don't mind too much. People have their opinions. People in the chat that get inflamed by them need to, you know, not engage in an aggressive manner. People are allowed to have their own opinions. Bear with me though. There you go. He's trolling. Okay, he was trolling. You don't have to ignore them if they're being general dicks. Give people all the stuff. Accusations are bad though. Like, I'm cool with talking. I'm cool with engaging with people, but. Can we explore the big city? No. So in 3.2, we're not going to have planets or there's giant city stuff. So 3.3, September, that's going to have Hurston, which will have Lawville, which will have an industrial city on it. 3.4 in December is planned to have ArcCorp, which is the giant city planet from that demo that you are talking about. I remember them saying that this patch we should see them fix co-pilot chairs, co-pilot able to divert shields and power. I haven't heard much about it recently. Yeah, so 3.2, so the patch is coming out at the end of this month, will have item system 2.0 for power, weapons, and systems, which means that you can divert shields, you can change power and that sort of stuff, and it will be much more relevant and actually affect your ship's performance. So you could do that in your the main seat is your pilot, especially if it's a one-seater ship. But if it's a multi-crew ship, then having someone dedicated do that is going to allow for a lot more gameplay. Oh my god, Anu, I love your fucking face. Thank you so much. I didn't say you were a dick, I see you being a dick. I did just ban someone, so apologies. I'm not normally like that. However, you were clearly trying to annoy other people in the chat. Are there any plans you know of to control or at least slow down griefers and trolls? So, well, it has to be balanced gameplay. Some people see griefers and trolls as people that are just playing the game or as pirates and that sort of stuff. And it's important to differentiate them. There's going to be valid gameplay for outlaws, for pirates, for people that want to steal your shit or to fuck your game up. Now, people that are literally emotionally trying to piss you off and hunting you down by ramming infinite auroras into you or something in the game. That's griefing, really. Trolls, more sort of like trying to poke you in chat, going rah, 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 trying to get some sort of response. Now, the best way of doing that is mute a troll. Griefers, report them. But there'll be areas and systems in game that try to prevent that behaviour as well. So griefing-wise, there'll be very big, harsh things that prevent griefers continuously ramming you on pads. As soon as you've done it once, anytime they spawn a ship, they'll be blown up. They'll have a huge criminal rating record. They'll be pushed out of the system, stuff like that. It's something that they'll have to react to in the shorter term and then think of plans for. But hopefully a lot of the griefing and trolling will have prevention methods in game for. The way that which CIG is developing content now is leaps and bounds faster than a year ago. Yes, 100%. They've got much more into their stride. They're actually starting to deliver now in earnest, which is great. Which is more annoying when I see people saying the game's never going to be out. Well, you can say that, and that can be your opinion. Don't invest in the game. That's fine. However, coming into a Star Citizen stream that's clearly quite pro for the game and saying that to people, what do you expect? You're not saying, I don't think the game's coming out because of this, or whatever. You're just saying it's not going to be out, which is pretty shitty. Is there any update or additional information since the last CIG acknowledgement that pilots are sitting lower than intended in many ships? That is a good question, Huntress, from Don Raynor. I don't know. I believe it's being looked at for the 3.2 because I've poked CIG devs about it in the past about certain screens and HUDs and stuff being wrong. And I know they're working on the glass tech to make sure there's not no glare and stuff there. I suspect that it's just a quick tweak they can put people up. I don't know for sure. I will ask. Oh no. So I don't know if he started as a troll or whatever. It's all good. Give people chances as well. Don't just instantly ban people or accuse them of being trolls, because they might not be trolls, or they might just have totally different opinions or whatever. Do you think the pit is a good or bad idea for keyboard players, considering it was meant to be more for VI players? Sorry, I don't know what pit is. PIT? So the text that comes. You have to explain more. That my brain is not grasping that. Could they have face reading for your character like the emojis? What? I don't know what that means either. My brain is broken. What's up, board? Just got back from Liverpool yesterday. I ended up staying a few days longer after the UFC fights. Scousers are an interesting bunch. No questions today. Just wanted to say what's up. Thank you very much. KWO311 USMC. Very much appreciated for the donation. And I'm glad you're having a good time. What the fuck is this $27,000 package bundle thingy? I'll talk about it again real quick, because I talked about it earlier. It was a rehash of the old package that they had, the big, expensive, all the ships in a single package thing remade, because some of the larger backers wanted them. And they are just big packages for people that want to chuck a load of money at the game or reconsolidate their giant fleets they already have into that package. Orgs and stuff might want them as well, I suppose. And if everyone puts in for them. I don't think it's very disturbing at all. I think it's shock value news. We're going, how much for a video game? Neat. What do you think of genuine Star Citizen pirates that are not dickhead pirates? I've used that term regularly. Which org do you think of? Well, I mean, Matadors are dickhead pirates. No, there's two orgs that are pretty good, and it's for not dickhead pirates, pirates for a reason. Although you are a little protty when it comes to some people that are salty. But No, you guys are pretty good for not being dickhead pirates. There's a couple of other pretty good non-dickhead pirates organizations as well, though. There are some people that just want to watch the world burn and just want to murder everything. There are some people that want to do it for profit. There are some people that want to do a mixture of the two. There are some people that want to just eat the salty tears of their enemies. Which, to be honest, Matadors fit into all of those categories. How many more concept ships do you think we're going to get for the next 2 years? Probably about 8 a year. 7, 8 a year, probably, realistically. Yeah, don't defend Star Citizen anymore. They don't need us to defend them. The game will speak for itself. Whether it's great or not, whatever. Yeah, any time will tell with a lot of the stuff. So, I disagree that the community is very polarized. It's only at the extremes of each end that it's polarized. Same with any community. So you see extremism in any community, and typically the extremists in any community are bad. Oh, you basically said that as well. Sorry, I was scrolling down slowly. Any plans for player labels or hover tags in game? Yeah, so I think that's actually planned for 3.2 now. The reason they haven't been in recently is because on planets, because you're not on a flat surface, there was a bug with the tags. So they're putting them back in the short term, I believe, and then eventually you're going to be able to scan people down, and they are fleshing out exactly how they want player tags and player information to be discerned. They don't want NPCs to be obviously different from players just because you look at them and someone's got a name above their head. So you might not have to. You might have a privacy setting of "Can you see my name?" or "Only friendlies can see my name," and then you have to scan another person if you want to see theirs and that sort of stuff. I've followed this project since the beginning. They've delivered content the whole time. The problem is that planning when you are making something that hasn't been done before is difficult. Also, Chris Roberts is known to be ambitious and set up goals to push his people. I would hate to work in such an environment, but if you succeed, you would probably make it anywhere. That's true. I mean, I think Chris Roberts is probably quite a difficult boss to work for. I think he's probably has quite a high, not perfectionist, but pretty close to that. He's obviously got his own vision of everything, so that must be difficult. Yeah, they've consistently been putting out information about the game. They've just started over the last 18 months to put out lots of information and to put out information that I want and to actually start delivering for their game, which is good. I am anti-glare. I want the screens and visors of my ship and of my helmet to have zero glare. On the externals of that, though, people looking at my helmet, that's fine to have glare on. Personal inner thought. Okay, yeah. I'm okay with it. I understand that it was better for VR players, but it will get a little bit more tweaked and iterated, and it will make more sense. I mean, there's going to be lots of hotkeys to do stuff quickly. We'll work around pretty quick so that we don't use inner thought so much. Bribe, if you message me separately, genuinely, I will grab some information for you, or try to. I know, Clifford, for example, requested stuff like that. And I've been looking on Reddit. I've been made aware that people have asked for it. Now, I will dive deeper to get actual proof if that's required to you for some reason. But yeah, feel free to message me and I'll have a look. It's partly an assumption as well, but I have read that on Twitter, and I do know that Clifford asked for a pack of everything in it. But one backer does not maketh many. I found codes for $69 on eBay. Yeah, so you can turn on any webcam, is the idea, and then you can have your face recognized in game, so your character is doing those movements. They are going to make a faceware camera from the guys that are helping make the tech. That is going to be the best possible experience for that. However, I suspect my webcam will be good enough. I will get a faceware camera to compare them. And I'll get a crappy camera as well.
Oh, beautiful.
Kasperger, thank you very much. Put out the wieners. It's the weekend. I'm not getting my dick out on stream. Not this stream. Open development isn't for everyone. I would buy a package and come back for release. I don't know. I think if you're not going to participate in the project, I'd recommend people wait till release before buying. Because why not? If you don't want to be part of open development, don't buy the package now. Wait. It's more sensible. I'm not buying a $27,000 package. That is ridiculous. It's a ridiculous thing to buy, spend money on. But I do remember that Entropia planet being sold for $6 million, and each like nightclubs and stuff selling for hundreds of thousands of dollars in that game, and Fights and Eve being tens of thousands of dollars. I mean, I must have killed well over 20,000 worth of ships and stuff like that. I suppose the $27,000 package is aimed at anyone that has a load of money to go blunk. But yeah, it's more targeted at people with huge amounts of expendable money, orgs, that sort of stuff. Older professionals that have stupid amounts of money. Clifford. Love you, Clifford. You genuinely are a great guy. What do you think Star Citizen will be ported to vacant? So yeah, it needs to get Vulkan integration. I know they want to do that. I just don't know when. I was expecting it this year. I still expect it this year. It's not on the roadmap because it's not something they would put on the roadmap. I'll find out. Are we any... Question, I'll probably ask it like, are we any closer for Vulkan integration? Will the Vandal be able to conquer the... Oh, there might be story events where that happens, where UE systems get invaded, get conquered. Yeah, potentially. It's probably going to be more expensive at launch, yeah. Maybe just wait to closer to launch. Until you know that the product's gone gold or whatever. Yeah, we haven't heard much on some of that tech for a while, for like Vulkan and stuff. There's lots of questions that have been asked and answered. I still want to know where the Squadron 42 roadmap's going to be, because I want that as soon as possible. I want to know if 3.2 is going to have purchasable ships in game with Alpha UEC, and I want to get deep dives on all the game mechanics. At least give us as much information as they have on those mechanics as they know now. Recently saw your fighter review and you fancy the Saber. Is it still your recommended ship? The best upgrade from the Aurora LN, in my opinion, is an Avenger Titan. I think they're great ships. They're cheap. They're getting bigger. They're like $15, $20 more than, or maybe even less than that. Yeah, like $15 more than an Aurora LN. Boom. I just upgraded my PC and was finally able to play Star Citizen. I experienced that my Cutlass ran really quickly out of fuel. If you're using your boost on it, or if you're in atmosphere, then it will. So the spacecraft, if you're in the atmosphere of a planet, is going to be using fuel a lot quicker. They're meant for space flight. They're not necessarily meant for long-term atmospheric flight. Well, they haven't confirmed or denied whether 3.2 is going to have purchasable ships, which is annoying, which makes me believe that it won't have. But would you suggest an E-fan get into Star Citizen now or wait till release? Will I be disappointed? If you'll be disappointed if you want to sit down and play game now. It's not sit down and play. If you want your to get involved, give feedback, have more of a voice for the game, then get it now. Just get the cheapest package you can. It's like $45 or whatever, or just wait. It's a development process. You're going to be able to sit down and play, and if you really wanted to grind gameplay, you probably get like 30, 40 hours out of the PU now with some friends and stuff, but not more than that. So like then you've done everything a few times, and Arena Commander and Storm Rain and stuff. But every 3 months they do release a lot more. So if you want to sit down and play a game, not yet. They mentioned not having atmospheric animations for the Eclipse just yet. Yeah, we should have the animations ready for 3.2. That will make it flight ready. They don't release ships with placeholder animations typically. Sometimes stuff gets broken though. What is the mod that's on your wish list? What, the Mobiglass mod? I'd like to see stocks and shares in game. I'd like to see integration of websites and stuff in game. Lots of stuff. If you're talking about what sort of like total conversion I'd like for the game, there's loads of cool stuff that you could do, like 40k one, Battlestar Galactica one. Sausage Fingers Gaming is a very good streamer and some very, very good, interesting YouTube videos. Check out that channel. Feel free to post it. Hopefully it won't ban you for posting that, Sausage Fingers. It took you longer to land at Port Olisar than 40 hours. Good job. The sort of riveting streams you can expect from them. Evocati this weekend. Potentially, unlikely, more like possibly next weekend. How does Star Citizen play on Shadow, performance-wise? It's pretty good. It's pretty good. If you use the code BoredGamer on shadow.tech, you get 10 of your currency off. It is a monthly-based subscription service. I do recommend people try it if they really, really want to. Have a look, have a read online, look at some reviews. I think it's great, but I'm basically shilling for it. I'm working with them to make their service as good for Star Citizen as possible. It's really good in 3.1.4. Runs pretty damn well. There is a small amount of latency based on your internet connection. If you've got a great internet connection, over 50 megabytes, and you've got good latency, then you're fine. However, if you've got shitty internet connection with bad latency, it's not very playable. So it is going to be based on that for some people. What's your... And I think it's a great alternative to people not wanting to buy a computer or not having access to a computer or needing to have access to a game computer constantly on the go. You can use it on your phone, you can use it on your laptop, you can use it on your crappy computer, whatever. It's awesome. And for those of you that don't know what Shadow is, it's leveraging... Someone just sent me $100, but it's New Zealand dollars, so it might be worthless. No, I'm joking, thank you very much. I'll look at that in a second. I forgot what I was going to say now. Oh, Shadow is a cloud-based PC gaming service, which allows you to leverage the power of a Windows 10 gaming PC on any device, basically. Or most devices. Oh, Robert Johnston. Hey, didn't I tell you to fuck off? Or feck off? Yes. But you can say it as many times as you want after you've paid me 100 New Zealand dollars. Thank you. Appreciate it. That's the only reason I've become a YouTuber. I've said it before. So people will pay me to tell me to go fuck myself. Is there a specific type of ship that's yet to be made that you'd wish to see CIG create? There's some ships that I know they're making. One of them, which is something I do want made. I suppose it's not really ships that I want made. Well, I'd like a spaceship building, a station building ship. I'd like a manufacturer and industry ship that actually crafts. But that could be a ground vehicle as well. I'd like to see lots more ground vehicles. Salvage and repair on the ground. There's lots of stuff. The Titan suits, they're not out yet. I want them so bad. Realistic date for Squadron. I don't really know anymore. Like, a lot of the stuff I've seen for it looked done. But I don't know what parts aren't done. I don't know how much polish and stuff they're going to want to put into the game, or if there's going to be pickups and stuff. So it could be anywhere between the end of this year and 2020 is the problem. Don't know. I think towards this end of that spectrum though. So not too long to wait, but they're being very tight. I couldn't choose a sound for being hosted, so I decided to use this. Oh, HC Vertigo, thank you very much for the host. Love your fucking face. La, la, la. If you backed before, what was the $6 million stretch goal? You get the second part of Squadron 42 for free. Backed earlier, cheaper. Yeah. So the earlier you backed Star Citizen, the more bonuses and freebies you got. I doubt that it's ever going to be on a console. However, never say never, technically. I mean, technically play on the console now using Shadow. No, no. You could, in a few years, maybe. But very unlikely. They basically said no. You want a ramming ship? The Hammerhead is supposed to be able to be relatively good for ramming. Like, it's got a reinforced head. on the Hammerhead. There's going to be like Vandal ships, which are very good for ramming. There's probably like Claw and boarding ships and stuff like that will be ramming. There'll be other ships that are specifically meant for ramming, almost certainly. Do I have a weapon type that I wish would be in game? I think they're going to cover a lot of them. Like I like chainsaws. I like samurai swords because they're silly. But I suppose more realistically, like a big chain gun. I don't know. I like silly weapons. I like a mixture of genuinely useful like assault rifles and smaller weapons, snipper rifles. I don't know. I don't really know how I feel about FPS combat in Star Citizen yet because I haven't seen the full use of mechanics and the scale and scope of how we're going to use FPS combat because we haven't got planets and stuff yet or reasons to fight on the ground. Do you think that land purchases will only be for organizations instead of individuals? No. I think organizations will be able to do some settings with their land plots so that they're easily shareable and that sort of stuff. But land... Okay, so you don't have to purchase land in Star Citizen to build on land. Like in UEE space, you need to buy land plots to get UEE protection. And I think probably you probably need to do that. Otherwise, someone can just steal your land underneath you on UEE space. Out of UEE space, you can build fucking freely. It's just a lot more dangerous. I mean, you can build defenses there. You can potentially hire NPCs to patrol and protect you, but it's going to be more dangerous. So I didn't like them selling those land claims. Really, I wanted a full deep dive document explaining exactly what the gameplay was going to be in the short term and then long term. Although they gave us a reasonable amount of info about it previously, admittedly. But there was no reason to have them. There's no reason to buy them. Like, it's like, well, they're cool. I'm going to buy them as a silly present. If they had you buy a land claim, and then they send you a physicalized, you're now a lord because you own land in game or something, that would have been silly. That would have been cool. A bit stupid, but much more justifiable. But there would just be no reason to buy them. Any news on a troop-moving vehicle, an APC of sorts? There probably will be true ground APCs, but the Urza Rover's relatively APC-like. But there almost certainly will be an APC event there. The FPS does feel really sponge. Not as crisp as one in... Oh, yeah. No. So the current model... The current FPS is lacking in Star Marine and that sort of stuff. They want it to be tactical and strategic. They want your choices to matter. They want stances and all that sort of jazz. And they want it smooth and crisp and not clunky. It needs work. Boomerangs and stuff. No, I mean, weapons that they would use and weapons you could learn to use. I mean, I'm looking forward to melee weapons. I will do a stream with Squadron 42 when it comes out. I'll do a YouTube series of playing it, and I'll probably then do a YouTube series of doing weird things in it. And yeah, we can do a Squadron 42, the hardest difficulty, or doing the hardest path, or some sort of handicap or whatever on stream at some point. Any word on elemental weapons? Like flamethrowers and stuff. There's a microwave gun they're putting in the game. So there probably will be flamethrowers and stuff. A flamethrower. That's what I want actually. I think I haven't. I want to see how they do large scale flame in Star Citizen. Alien vs Predator, the original, did like good large scale flame. When you used a flamethrower down a corridor, it filled up the corridor and then waved down like a big ocean wave. Oh, it was beautiful. And their games really do fire very well. Yeah, so potentially Shadow is something you could use. It allows you to leverage a gaming PC on your current PC. So you basically connect to that and then use that as your PC instead. As long as your internet connection is good enough and you don't have much latency on it, it's great. And you can configure it as your own PC, and it saves that like that. So you could set it up at home. You could both have access to it. You could set it up at home for them as well and stuff like that. I use mine for work. I'm going to be using mine for LANs. I'm going to use mine for going to events and stuff like that. Not for everyone, but it's pretty fucking cool, and it's getting better as tech. So. They are making microwave guns. They are making melter guns. And we're getting handwell stuff. I suspect we'll have loads of weapons at some point. We'll have loads and loads of weapons. Right. Any more questiones? Because what I'm going to do is go and host somewhere else. In half an hour's time, there is the RTV, which is the Town Hall special. So I want people to watch that. I will be watching that as well. They should be answering a load of questions there. Hopefully they'll answer is 3.2 going to have viable ships in? I'm okay with them answering as no, it won't. I just want them to answer it. I love all your faces very much. See if there's any more questions. Is there anything that I want to talk about? We've got the town hall in a minute. Say a minute. Pretty soon. Half an hour. Oh, thank you very much, Owl. With loads of numbers after your name. The best. 282820. Oh my god. Owl, I love you. What a good name. What do I'm hoping that Pitchfork is a failure, to be honest.
Tricksy little hobbitses.
Okay. I'm hoping that it's a great experience for loads of players, including myself. I hope that we get loads of footage from it. I hope we get loads of camera stuff from it. But I'm hoping that everyone gets wrecked by the Vandal. So Operation Pitchfork, for people that don't know, is like around near the end of beta or around beta time. Everyone, as many players as possible, are going to get together, hopefully like tens of thousands, to attack Vandal space and to really aggressively stress test servers and impact that we can have on the game. And we're hoping that it will become a in-law event properly and stuff like that. And I'm really looking forward to it. I haven't seen Citaro's video of jumping to Hurston yet. Feel free to link it, Tom. However, I will look at it later on today. Citaro's Hurston. Thank you. A lot of people have said that to me recently. RTV in the UK is at 8 PM, so in half an hour's time. Any hint of ships that can carry one Sabre or Hornet? I'm a solo player by nature and would like to have a ship that can haul my Hornet Ghost. The Polaris, the Crucible. So this is a good one. Let's bring up the ship matrix. Let's look through the ship's matrix. I haven't looked at it. I used to really obsessively look through this. I have a form of OCD, which is actually very manageable. It makes me obsess about numbers and figures and planning, so that I've at least got a good plan. Don't know about the Merchantman. Don't know about the 890 jump. Don't know exactly what size its base is going to be. Don't know about the Endeavour. Don't know about the... Yeah, it won't fit in the Reclaimer, obviously not. A Javelin. Idris. I think the Crucible is probably the smallest. Polaris is the most sensible and the next smallest. They may do a more civilian transport like the Kraken in the future. I wonder if you can get in a Hercules. 1 second. Nova. How wide is a Nova? The Nova is 7 meters wide. How wide is a Hornet? Much wider. No, what are we thinking? Of course it's got wings. I was thinking it didn't have wings. Top Sock, thank you very much for the sub. I encourage everyone to get your parents' credit cards and sub. No, thank you very much for the sub. Much appreciated. What was I thinking? Why did I... So I thought the Tonk was wider. Do you think Pitchfork will do repeated events after that? I'm hoping so. I'll talk to the Pitchfork guys, actually. I did one of my early videos was on Pitchfork. I might as well refresh that. I'll talk to those guys. Try not to randomly shout. If I'm playing a game and I do get stressy when I'm playing PUBG and stuff. I do shout then, but not when I'm just talking. And I'm much better when I'm streaming. Like, is there more about permadeath? Not really. Not for a while. It's going to affect you. You'll lose all the stuff that you had on your character when you die, or even just your soft death. Eventually, if you don't do anything about your character repeatedly dying, you will permanently die, and then you'll need to make a new character. They will inherit most of, if not all, your stuff. There might be like a death tax. There might be a reputation hit. I hope they can make the scout carrier as well. Oh, I didn't realise my sound was low. Apologies. Is that a bit better? I turned it down a little bit the other day. How do you think the Comorray will know that you murdered an NPC/player if you did it stealthily? It won't know. If you did it really stealthily, and the Comorray was off or whatever, then no one saw you. If no one saw you commit the murder or whatever, you get away free. There might be like ways of other ships witnessing stuff though, and things like that. The Retaliator will probably fly relatively well in atmosphere. They've even talked briefly about maybe giving it gravity-assisted bombs. Can't optimize servers after 3 to 4 years. Tell me why they need set servers 50 player max. I don't know what that means. That's why every time 10 to 20 frames, they can't set servers 30 play if they can't optimize. Sorry, I don't know what you mean, Adam. Apologies. They are continuing to optimize the game, object container streaming, and server meshing, and bind culling. All that tech that's coming this year should allow for hundreds of players in servers, if not more, in the short term, or this year. And a lot of the tech, like for object container streaming, is just essential for the verse to come live, to have planets, to have large amounts of players in the game. Right. Thank you very much for watching. Very much appreciate your time that you spent watching me. And if you do have any more questions, feel free to jump in my Discord. There's a questions for board thread there. You can get involved in the games we play. You can chat. I'm pretty accessible as a YouTuber. I will try and chat to everyone. If you want to support the channel further, there are links below. There's donations. There's Patreon. There's subscriptions if you want to subscribe. Thank you very much. If you whatever, it's genuinely very much appreciated. If you want to give me free stuff in Eve, I love your face. Yeah, I'll try to be streaming some gameplay over the weekend of Star Citizen. I will probably be streaming some form of random game later tonight. But yeah, thank you very much. Detox started streaming. Let us go host. I'm sorry, that clap is probably pretty loud. We'll go host Detox. And then in half an hour, either he'll do a thingamajig party, or you can go and watch our TV. Detox. Oh, come on, Detox, where are you? Is Detox streaming Star Citizen? Is he not? Is that why I can't see him? Streaming Sea of Thieves? Not even streaming Star Citizen. No. Just check to make sure he's not streaming Star Citizen. Okay. Let's make sure, let's make sure none of my guys are streaming. Let's do that first. Is any BoredGamer streaming? No, me. Next. Is Detox streaming Star Citizen? Bam. Let's have a look. Join him. Sea of Thieves, mate. Detox. Are you gonna be watching our TV on your channel? It's asking me. Do you think FPS combat will make it into 3.0? Yeah. I think so. I mean, it could slip. It's the nature of the development. Negative should I be? No. We're not going to... I would support Detox, but, mate, Star Citizen, mate. Right, let's go... What is this guy? Who's this guy? Have a look at this guy. Let's have a look. Me. We're gonna go as this guy. I ain't seen him before. I'm following him. Bam.
Still 15 frames a second.
Go give him some love. Right. Thank you very much. Let's go host him. Bam. Thank you very much for watching. I love you guys. I will marry you probably. My standards are pretty low. Even if you're passable as a human, even if you're not. It's no worries. Do you think we'll get dangerous missions to transport? There's lots of the windows now forever. Do you think we'll get dangerous missions to transport political people from UE system to system? Yeah, I suspect we will. I suspect that will be a mission set. VIP transport. What software do you use for your video editing? Hello, game blogger. I use OBS to record. I use Premiere, Adobe Premiere subscription to edit. I also use free thingamajig Audacity for audio editing. Love your faces. You take care. Let's go host this guy. Give him some love. He's new, clearly. Mwah.
The real board. He's the real deal. Awesome. Here we go.
Thanks for watching, guys.